Welcome back, fans of the BLA. In today's episode, we got a 9-game slate. Almost every team will be playing their second game in today's video. And first up, we got the Atlanta Pharaohs, who are 1-0, going up against the Pittsburgh Power, who are 0-1. And we see a miss from Pittsburgh starting the game out. Now Tally Butler putting the moves on Jacob Carton, pulls up in his face, hits the mid-range shot. Nice moves from Butler on that play right there. And we got Dana Williams with the ball. He can't get space around Jacoby Grantham and misses the tough shot. Tally Butler pull up mid-range, hits it. He's coming out uber aggressive early in this game. 2 shots, 2 hits early. As he pulls up and pump fakes on Carton but can't get that to fall. Almost hit that shot as well. And we got Jacob Carton. He gets his get back and drives in the lane, gets 2 points back as Jacoby Grantham throws the ball away on the alley-oop attempt right there. We got Carton for 3, and he puts Pittsburgh up by 1. Big shot from Carton right there. And Dana Williams wide open in the corner. He drills a 3. Pittsburgh 4-point lead. Tally Butler coming back the other way. He's blocked by Carton. So Jacob Carton got scored on 2 times early, but he's making up for it right here. He whips the ball into Williams, who's blocked by Jacoby Grantham. Atlanta has some real tough perimeter defenders. It's Tally Butler with a tough shot. And little man is on a mission early as Freddie Mac puts it up over 3 defenders, and he gets that to go out of the timeout for Pittsburgh. Now we got a block, that time by Ellis Vaught. And like we said, this Atlanta defense is tenacious. They were ranked 20th when the season started, and they thought that was disrespectful as Alvin Falls hits a 3 for the Power. Now we got Alvin Falls pulling up for another 3. He hits that, so back-to-back 3s for Falls as Joe Gaffney gives the ball to Robbio Sacchetti, who drills a 3. Take 1, now give 1 back. And now we got Gaffney pulling up, tough shot at the buzzer almost, and he drills that right before the end of the first quarter, and Atlanta is up 1. As we got Tally Butler bringing the ball down court to start the second quarter. Defender Drake all over him. He still pulls up and is able to hit it. So he is a man on a mission early in this game with 8 points. Dana Williams trying to come back with the answer, but Grantham's defense is very good, and Dana misses the shot. We got Tally Butler out of the pick and roll. He hits the layup, being super aggressive early. Different from how we saw him in the last game. In the last game, he was getting more assists, involving his teammates. This game, he's taking it into his own hands as he banks that in. Feeling it tonight. On this play, we got Primo giving the ball to Butler off the curl. Butler pulls up and hits a mid-range shot again. That put his team up by 9. We see P.J. McCullum missed a free throw. He did hit 1, so it's an 8-point game now. Butler coming back the other way, crossing over. Crosses over, hits the layup, and he is putting on a show with 16 points in the second quarter for you guys. Henry King pulls up for 3, stops the bleeding, and the lead is now cut to 7 points. And Butler with another crossover and lays that in. He's going crazy, telling his team, let's go, let's go. 9-point game. He definitely is trying to go 2-0 to begin the season. As we see Elliott King with the steal and the flush, and that Atlanta defense, guys. They put it on the Marauders on the perimeter, and now they're trying to do it to the Power. Elliott King underneath off the pass from Butler. So Butler scoring, passing, defending, and we got Dana Williams right there. Tough shot. He gets that one to fall. Good defense, but better offense on that play as Williams has 7 points. They don't call him hot white chocolate for nothing. And a drive and block right there by the Pharaohs. Alvin Falls does get the shot to fall, though. Alvin Falls having a really good first half for the Pittsburgh Power right here. We got Joe Gaffney. He pulls up for 3, and it's a 12-point game now. Gaffney with a good shot, and that's Butler's backup. And Butler is loving it on the bench. Not only is he going off, he's rooting for his teammates. The third quarter, we got Carton backing out on Butler. He whips it over to Williams, who takes a deep 3 in the face of Grantham, but that defense forces him to miss. Atlanta is up 11 right here. And Primo, tough shot, hits it. Atlanta goes up by 14, and Butler putting the moves on Carton, drives in. He's blocked that time by Hayden King, but Elliott King gets the shot to fall, and Atlanta is breaking this lead open early. early as we see the alley-oop from Grantham to Hayton. And the Atlanta Pharaohs are up by 14. Right here as Butler puts some moves on, gets the defender on his hip and drills it. He is going off in this game. As we see him again shoot from the low post and hit that. This is a 5'10" player going to work off the catch in the post. Off the miss, Elliott King bringing it up. He finds Butler, pulls up in the defender's face and hits that, and he is feeling it. 21-point lead for the Pharaohs, and now Dana Williams cuts that 18-point lead down as he hits the three and blows a kiss up to the sky, trying to get his team back into the game. Tally Butler with the ball, 5 seconds on the shot clock. He uses the pick, pulls up and hits with the defender all over him. He is going crazy right now. Williams answers back with a three of his own, cuts the lead to 15. He won't let his team go down without a fight as Butler just hesitates, pulls up, hits it over Alvin, falls, and Atlanta's back up by 17. Williams tries to go for that, but Grantham blocks him. This Atlanta defense is too much for anybody, and Butler pulls up 20-point lead. He has no soul. He just lets it fly. As Freddie Mac dunks, cuts the lead to 14. Right here we got LiAngelo. Nice pass to Hayton underneath. He gets that dunk down. Pittsburgh fighting back, double teams Butler, but Hayton scores down low off of the pass from Butler. And now we got Butler off the curl. He hits a shot. He is going crazy in this game. Harry Primo off the steal. He passes it to Butler, who hesitates, pulls up, drills that shot as well. He's loving the mid-range. And the Pharaohs win 91-67 on the short shoulders of that man, Tally Butler, right there. Only 5'10", going crazy. He ended the game with 42 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, and shot 4-4 from 3. Elliott King had 14 points with 4 steals. Joe Gaffney had 11 points and hit 3 threes for the Atlanta Pharaohs as well. The Power only had 2 guys to show up. Dana Williams had 19 points and Alvin Falls had 17 points. Moving on to the next game, we got Colorado versus Vegas as we see Zagarot get blocked to start the game off by Connor Veal. And Zagarot trying to go back to work again. This time he dunks it down. He did not have a good debut game. He's trying to make up for that. As we see Cash go in, get blocked, but he gets the mid-range to fall after getting the ball back. We see Lenny Bliss with the tough mid-range. Back to Zagarot. He's backing down Veal. Passes back to Bliss. Bliss pulls up, hits a 3. So Lenny Bliss cooking early in this game. As we see Trent mix the big man with the shot from 3. Later in the second quarter, we got Bliss trying to cook. He's driving in. Cash in front of him. Puts it up, hits it off the glass. Colorado takes the lead by 1. And we see Anthony Jacobs come back and take the lead for Vegas right after that play. Now we're looking at 31-30 Colorado. Cash backing in. Pump fakes, puts it up and hits it in the face of the defender. Now we got Colorado taking the last shot before halftime. They miss. Vegas goes into halftime up by 1. Now to the fourth quarter. We got Terrell Alexander working on Caden Cash. He puts it up, but Zagarot cleans up the miss. Colorado has now cut the lead to single digits as Chucky Kaycock throws a lob up to Terrell Alexander. 9-point game again. We got Vegas, Caden Cash dunking it down. 11-point lead for Vegas now. Tim Babbitt, he throws down a 2-hand jam. 13-point lead for Vegas. 5 minutes left. Colorado has to make something happen. It's Kaycock back to Alexander. 9-point game again. We got Connor Veal trying to make a decision. He gives it to Gerald Bay, who pulls up and drains the shot. But Gerald Bay from 3. Now we got Zagarot. Gives it to Alexander. Gives it to Christie. He's able to hit the mid-range. 10-point game. 2:30 left in the game. Now we got Zagarot giving it back to Christie. He hits a 3. 9-point game again with 2 minutes left. But every time Colorado would try to cut into this lead, Vegas comes right back and scores as Cash extends it to 11 there, and the final is 88-77 as Vegas goes to 1-1, and Colorado is now 0-2. So Zagarot can't lead his team to many wins early. Caden Cash had 28 and 10. Tim Babbitt had 17. Trenton Mix had 10 and 20 in this game. Zagarok had 16 with 19 rebounds, 3 blocks, and 3 steals. He had a great game, but his team they couldn't get it done. Kevin Christick gave him 12, and Chucky Kaycock gave him 10. For our next game, we have the Vancouver Voyagers, who are 1-0, visiting the Fort Worth Rodeo, who are 0-1, as Anderson Tyler hits a shot to start the game. Vancouver up 2-0. We see Vernon Pope wide open under the basket. He scores 4-0 for Vancouver early. We see Matt Sims driving in with the jelly layup. Nice layup. Good to see him going early. He did not have a good opening game in the BLA. So we see him throw the lob up to Niang, who dunks it down. Niang gave them a good game last week, 16 and 5. D'Angelo Strickland all over Matt Sims. He's too small. Travion Thomas puts it up, blocked by Niang. Corey Cotton blocked by Niang. Niang is tough defensively, but Vancouver gets the score off Tyler's 3. And we got a nice dime from Matt Speedy Sims to AC McGriff on that play. We got Anderson Tyler giving it to Travion Thomas, gives it to Pope, who lobs it back up to Thomas. He dunks it down. Last minute of the first quarter, we got Devontae Askins going in, hits the mid-range to put Fort Worth up by 1. And that's the score at the end of the first. 2019, Fort Worth is up. Now we got Rosho Derrickson trying to make a move. Sims for 3 from the corner. Cash is in. Fort Worth is up by 4 now. Now we got Anderson Tyler to D'Angelo Strickland. Strickland answers back with a nice little mid-range bucket there. We got Sims driving in. Nice layup again. Sims with the finesse. He's got 7 points early. It's Corey Cotton on a dunk. Cotton again from down low. He ties the game up 25 all. We got Strickland working on Sims. Sims is too small. He gets past him, hits the floater. Now we got Fort Worth up by 7 later in the second. Campy Flowers with the shot underneath the basket cuts the lead. Now to the third quarter. Corey Cotton. And it's a 2-point game now. We got Vancouver again. Cotton spinning down low, puts up the shot, ties the game 50 all. Vancouver up 1 later in the third, and Penny Lassiter says make it 4 as he drills a 3 from the corner. We got D'Angelo Strickland pump faking, pulling up, hitting the mid-range. D'Angelo Strickland, he's got 11 in the game as we see Askins pass it back to Brandon Mann, who hits a 3, cutting that lead to 3 points. Later in the third, we got Penny Lassiter from the other corner, drilling another 3. Vancouver up 8. We got Lassiter trying to float it up. He gets blocked, gets his rebound, puts it back in. Now to the fourth. Fort Worth is down by 8. Pull up by Rosho Derrickson in the face of the defender, drills it. Fort Worth trying to get back into this game. They're down 5. Speedy Sims driving in, floats it up. 3-point game. Matt Sims showing up tonight. So we got D'Angelo Strickland working down low. Doesn't get it. Corey Cotton cleans up his miss. Vancouver is up by 5. Sims trying to answer back. He pump fakes twice, pulls up, hits it. Matt Sims showing up tonight, like I said. Him and Strickland both have 13. Strickland driving in, scores it. 7-point lead for Vancouver now. The Rodeo trying to get back into this game. Sims throws up a lob to Niang, and he catches and converts. The Voyagers trying to hold on to this lead, and what better way than to go to your go-to guy, Strickland, who pulls up and converts when they need it the most. And we see Lassiter with a nice floater. 7-point game. Strickland underneath in the post against McGriff. Tough shot. Hits it over McGriff, who's a good defender. Rosho Derrickson pulling up, trying to give his team life. He hits. 7-point game. And Speedy Sims underneath the basket, pump faking, puts that in. 5-point game, 40 seconds left. Anderson Tyler to Strickland, who pump fakes, who pulls, hits it, and that is the dagger. D'Angelo Strickland is a bad man. For the Rodeo, Matt Sims gave them 18 and 8 with 2 steals. Rosho Derrickson gave them 14. Niang gave them 12 and 8. And Askins gave them 12 points as well, as they still look for their first win on the season. Moving on to Vancouver now, D'Angelo Strickland had 23, 6, and 5 with the steal and a block. Corey Cotton had 13 points and 17 rebounds. Travion Thomas gave them 10 and 7, and Penny Laster had 10 points of his own. Moving on to our next game, we got the Cyclone versus the Kings. So Xander Pierce versus Jai Zhang in this game. And Xander Pierce looking to redeem himself after that game 1 loss and a bad showing where he shot 7 of 21. As we see Zhang from the corner early, 3 puts OKC on the board first. We got Xander Pierce in the low block working on Devontae Jones, hits the spin shot. Nice work from a point guard in the post right there. And we got Zhang underneath hitting the shot. 5-5 Kansas City. Pierce going back the other way, driving, spinning again, can't hit that one, but Gail Jordan on the rebound. Pierce coming off a curl later in the possession, hits a 3 to put his team up 5-3. And we got Zhang passing it to Willingham. We know how good Willingham is. He's a really good defender, and he puts that up in the post, showing off some of that offense right here. We got Pierce just bullying Devontae Jones again, scoring on that play, taking advantage of the other team's weaknesses, and his size advantage is really helping him out early in this game. As we see Snyder with a nice move and score. We got Sam Carlisle coming around the pick, pull-up defender all over him. Doesn't matter. He hits it anyway. And we got Zhang pulling up for 3, putting his team down by 3 with that shot right there. And we got Snyder working out of the corner. He gives it to Devontae Jones, who drills a 3, and OKC is now up by 4. We got Kansas City with a lot of ball movement, dumping underneath the Pierce and 1. Xander Pierce is a force to be reckoned with as he hits the free throw and converts the and 1. Now we got Kansas City up by 1. Pierce exploiting Devontae Jones again, working down low, puts it up, hits it. They got to get somebody else on him defensively. He's killing Jones right now. As Carlisle dumps it underneath to Cameron Jones, who dunks the ball on that play. Now, we see later in the game, Kansas City 3-point lead, blocking the shot of Drew Snyder, and we're going into halftime. Coming out of halftime, it's a 5-point game, 8 minutes left in the third, and we see Pierce get blocked on that play. Good defense right there from OKC. And Jai Zhang just threw Ray Mercer to the ground, and that's a flagrant 1 as we see Mercer taking the free throws right here. This will put Kansas City up by 9 points if he can convert on both of these, and he does not. He misses. That looked like it was good at first, and Kansas City gets the ball after that flagrant. Crazy shot by Gail Jordan goes in, and Kansas City is up by 10 now, trying to break open that lead. They dump it under to Gene Gaffney, and he dunks. Now we got Mercer under the goal, can't get it, gets his own rebound and scores on Zhang. He wants the crowd to go wild after that. And we see Gaffney with the block from behind on Willingham, and Kansas City is just bust open a huge lead by 18. Oh, what an alley-oop on that play. And why not dunk it yourself after that? Xander Pierce. It's a 22-point lead. Ever since that flagrant foul, Kansas City has just run amok all over OKC as they get the steal on that play. Devontae Jones finally stops the bleeding and cuts the lead to 20. Later in the third, 17-point game. Jones, crazy shot. Kansas City just cannot miss right now. We got Xander Pierce in the fourth, giving it back to Jones. Jones scores underneath again. And it doesn't matter what OKC tried to do. They just could not get back in this game. It's Pierce with the bank shot. When he's hitting that, there's no way you're going to win. And at the end of the game, Xander Pierce had 29, 5, 3 assists, 2 steals, and a block. Devontae Campbell pitched in with 13 of his own. DJ Forrest had a double-double, 10 points, 10 rebounds, and 4 blocks. Cameron Jones had 10 points as well. Gail Jordan and Gene Gaffney both had 9. Jai Zhang had 23 points, 8 rebounds, and 3 steals. And we had KJ Brady had 12 with 7 assists. And Drew Snyder had 10 points but 5 turnovers. As the Cyclone go to 1-1 and the Kings get their first win on the season. Now I greet you from New Jersey as we have the Storm playing against Garrison the Maverick Mercer and the New Orleans Jazz. We got Garrison Mercer versus Brett Stevenson. And Stevenson with an emphatic two-hand jam to start the game out. We got Vinny Pete, who's a scorer, scoring underneath early in this game, getting into the teeth of the defense. And Mercer pulls up from deep and drains it in Brett Stevenson's face. Now we got Stevenson pulling up in Mercer's face. He gets that to fall. Tie game. Stevenson working out of the pick and roll. He gets the switch that he wanted. He drives in, can't get it to go. We got New Orleans going the other way, and a dunk from Willis. And Marvin Willis puts his team up by 2, but AJ Nunn has something to say about that as he hits a tough mid-range to tie the game. AJ Nunn again working in the post. This time he's blocked. And in the first quarter, low-scoring game, 14-14 all. We got Garrison Mercer working to get free. He does and gets an and one. And he takes the free throw and hits and converts the and one. 3-point lead for New Orleans. We got Mercer again working. Hits the floater right in front of the basket. He's got 8 points early in the second quarter. Garrison Mercer wide open pull-up. Hits it as Brett Stevenson was late on his rotation. And Stevenson comes back the other way and converts a tough layup with an answer to Garrison Mercer's last shot. Mercer comes back, pulls up, but can't hit that one, trying to answer Stevenson back. We got Vinny Pete slashing in, puts up a little floater, banks it off the glass. 4-point lead for New Orleans right here. We got Brett Stevenson working, gets the layup to fall. 2-point game. We got Akil Hastings dumping it down to Marvin Willis. He scores underneath the basket. New Orleans does not want to give this lead up as we see Patterson drill a three. Justin Patterson with the big three. That helped open the lead up. Now we got a 10-point lead. Patterson spinning, hitting the layup. And Justin Patterson coming off the bench making a difference with 7 points in the first half for New Orleans. Now we got Greenwood, the small guy who can dunk, giving it to AJ Nunn. He scores underneath, cutting the lead back to 10. And we got Neil Kidd taking a shot at the buzzer. Can't get it to fall. New Orleans goes into halftime with a 12-point lead. We got Brett Stevenson trying to put his team back into the game, trying to make a move. He passed it underneath the AJ Nunn. Nunn dunks. Nunn is his right-hand man for the Storm. And here we got Ellis underneath. He can't get that to fall, but gets his own rebound and dunks it in. Amari Ellis. We got Vinny Pete driving in, hitting the layup. 10-point lead again for New Orleans. We got Pete behind the back, putting on the moves, gives it to Mercer, scores all over Brett Stevenson. There's nothing Stevenson can do defensively to stop him as he pulls up from deep, drills that one. 15-point lead for New Orleans now, biggest lead of the game. We got Mercer going between the legs, crosses over on Stevenson, but can't hit that one. He stepped back on Stevenson on a hesitation, but could not get the shot, and Stevenson did not know where to go. He couldn't stop his body from going in that direction. AJ Nunn drills a three after the embarrassment to his teammate and makes it a 12-point game, but Mercer answers. That long wingspan of Garrison Mercer standing at 6'10" makes him so hard to block as Nunn comes back. So AJ Nunn is fighting, but it's not enough. As we go later, Mercer with the dunk in the fourth quarter, and New Orleans is up big. The Jazz are killing the New Jersey Storm right now, 71-49. As AJ Nunn comes back, he lays it up, but it's not much else he can do. Later in the fourth, New Orleans up by 20, and Mercer lobs it up the cage. They're just rubbing it in, and New Orleans wins by 22, 88-66. AJ Nunn had 19 and 7 on 50% shooting. Brett Stevenson had 14 with 3 steals on 6 of 15 shooting. Bart Tutmakov gave them 11. And for New Orleans, Garrison Mercer had his usual 23 points, 10 and 19 from the field, 5 assists. Patterson had 13 points with 2 rebounds. He was a big help off the bench for New Orleans tonight. Now moving on to our next game, we got the Baltimore Brutes versus the Columbus Cougars. Both of these teams are 1-0, and Pat Nixon is the reason why Columbus won their last game, as we see him drive in early and score. And Andre Perez comes right back with a 3 of his own, and we see Wigginton hitting it off the glass. On that play, Wigginton is blocked, but Nixon gets the rebound, puts up the shot, and one. Pat Nixon, big man, soft touch. Now we see Pat Nixon against the mismatch of Michaels, puts that in. We got Patrick Alford putting up a three. He drills that, puts Baltimore up. Now, later in the first, Columbus up by 7 after that shot right there. And we got Bailey Baker coming back the other way, hitting a three off the pass from Austin Randall. We got Gregory Epps passing it to Randall. Randall trying to figure out what to do with it. He had a big game last game for them. And Epps hits a mid-range shot. So Gregory Epps on that shot. This time, Epps giving it to Randall. Randall drills a three that ties the game up. 7 minutes left in the second quarter. And Pat Nixon working against Dobbins. Misses, gets his own rebound, puts it back in. Pat Nixon is a beast. We got Jeremy Wigginton converting an and one on Andre Perez. Tough shot from the little guy against a much bigger opponent. We got Epps passing the ball to Samuel Kiefer. He drills a three. So he's got that three ball working in this game. It wasn't working for him last game. We got Caleb Houston pulling up from mid-range close territory on that play. We got Alfred dumping it down to Perez. He's backing down Wigginton on this play. Scores over the top of him, gets his payback. The Brutes are down by 7. Here we got another mismatch, and Nixon exploits it again. 9-point lead. Nixon again. 11-point lead now. Pat Nixon is just a scoring machine. We got Perez pulling up from deep. Yeah, that's what he does, guys. We saw him in the last game completely take over in the second half. We got Nixon and one. Hits the free throw. 9-point game. Now to the fourth. 7-point game. Columbus trying to hold on to their lead. Wigginton to Nixon. 9-point game. And Jeremy Wigginton and Pat Nixon have had a great game together as Nixon has 30. We see Austin Randall driving in, hitting the shot. He is a big-time player off the bench for the Baltimore Brutes. As we see Beckett driving in, hitting a little mid-range shot, putting his team back up. And the Cougars take care of the Brutes. 13-point game. Pat Nixon had 32 and 14 in this game. He's a beast. Ahmad Wagner had 14 with 6 rebounds and 2 assists. Caleb Houston had 11. Brandon Weems had 10 with 5 rebounds and 1 assist. Looking at the stats for the Brutes, Patty Alford had 15, 2 rebounds and 3 assists. Austin Randall had 14. Coming off the bench, Kyron Albertson gave them 13 points. Perez had 11 points with 6 rebounds and 2 assists, but he shot 4 of 15, 3 of 12 from the field, and that was the downfall for the Brutes today. Going into the next game, we got the Carolina Flight going up against the Phoenix Flame. The Flame are coached by Evan Turner once again, if you guys forgot, and Carolina is coached by Jarrett Jack. So we got a battle of former NBA players at the coaching positions. In this game, we'll see if Dago Akwegbu, number 2 overall pick center for the Flight, can redeem himself after a not-so-good debut game as Richie Shaw pulls up for 3, defender all in his face, and cool hands Richie Shaw is coming out hot early. As we see Akwegbu going right at the defense and putting the ball in 5-all early here in Carolina. As we got Tucker, Justin Tucker gets his shot completely sent by Akwegbu. Big time block, big time defense for Akwegbu. And even though he didn't score much in the first game, he did get some blocks against Tampa, and his team was able to win. As we see Todd Cornett with the nice little soft lay-in right there. And Spencer Kavanaugh dumping it down to Richie Shaw, who spins and hits the layup. Nice play. And Phoenix is up big early, 15-point lead. But Zeke Young answers with an alley-oop slam. Zeke Young was big in that last game. As we see Cornett hitting a mid-range shot. Spencer Kavanaugh throwing it up to Richie Shaw. It's picked off. And Shabazz Adrian coming down court. Passes it over to Carson Jackson, who drills a 3. Carolina trying to cut into this lead as Cornett with a nice layup. Acrobatic underneath the basket. He's playing good early with 9 points. Cornett backing down his defender, and Richie Shaw goes right at Akwegbu and scores through the physicality on that play in the third quarter. And Richie Shaw from deep, his defender was all in his grill, and he hit that shot. Akwegbu with a tough turnaround, trying to stop the bleeding. Couldn't do it on that play, but Zeke Young can. He is a menace down low. 15-point game. Phoenix is still up comfortably, though, as Richie Shaw lays it in from close range. He's got 20 points almost halfway through the third quarter, so Richie Shaw coming out hot. Jared Jack trying to get his team hyped up, trying to tell them that we definitely should be winning this game. We're at home. This is our home debut, and Agwegu comes right out and scores. Dunks it down. Still a 16-point game, though. Zeke Young with a big block on that play. Zeke Young and Agwegu together are a force to be reckoned with. As Carolina hits the three from Carson Jackson on that play, but Todd Cornette answers with a shot of his own going the other way. We got Carson Jackson working out the pick and roll, gives it to Zeke Young, who scores underneath. 7-point game now in the fourth quarter. Carolina really trying to make this comeback, and Agwegu, he is an acrobat at his height. He's got post moves, and he's not afraid to show him. Zeke Young underneath. Simple, unlike his teammate, but he scores just as well. As we see Agwegu completely destroy Justin Tucker's shot. And the other way, Zeke Young got his own rebound, put that in. 1-point game. Carolina has fought all the way back, and Evan Turner talking to his unit. He can't believe it. As we got Phoenix driving in, Agwegu again with a block. He's swatting everything in this game. The paint is not safe with Agwegu down there. And Richie Shaw throws it, and Agwegu intercepts it. Zeke Young the other way. Two-hand jam, and the Flights take the lead against the Flame. Agwegu working in the post. He's double team. Kicks out to Falls. Nate Falls drills a three, and Carolina goes up by 2 possessions with 4 minutes and 38 seconds left in this game. Spencer Kavanaugh trying to make something happen. Gives it to Richie Shaw, who gives it back to Kavanaugh. Kavanaugh trying to survey the field, see what he wants to do. Kavanaugh crossing over, trying to drive in, gives it to Brandon Liggins underneath. Liggins puts it up over Zeke Young and is able to get that to fall. He almost got a violation on that play right there. As we see Carson Jackson passing it over, and Van Mills makes it a 2-possession game again. We got Nate Falls dumping it to Agwegu. Agwegu working on Liggins and scores. 7-point game now for Carolina. Nate Falls dumping it down to Agwegu. He scores underneath again. 9-point lead for Carolina. And Alan Fleming is able to stop the bleeding with the and one there. And Alan Fleming again almost got an and one. And Evan Turner likes when he sees his team is cut the lead to 4. And a foul going the other way against Brandon Liggins against Agwegu. Agwegu converts both of his free throws. Now we got Liggins wide open under the basket. He gets fouled by Zeke Young, and one opportunity again for Phoenix. Liggins taking a free throw but misses, and Richie Shaw cannot get the rebound. Carson Jackson scores the other way. It's a 2-possession game with 49 seconds left. Fleming driving again and draws another foul. So Fleming just drawing fouls like crazy, but misses the free throw. In and out on the first. The second does fall for him. It's a 5-point game now. The Flight are in control. We got Nate Falls spinning, pulling up in the face of Richie Shaw, and hits that. That was the dagger. And we see Nate Falls had a big game, 22 points in this comeback. Carson Jackson had 20. Zeke Young had 16 with 9 rebounds and 5 blocks. He was big. Agwegu had 12 points, 8 rebounds, 2 steals, and 3 blocks. Alan Fleming for the Flame poured his heart out in this game. He had 23 points, tried to help him fight back, but couldn't. Richie Shaw had 22 points on efficient shooting from the field. Todd Cornette had 11, and Brandon Liggins had 11. Now to our next game, we got the Tampa Sharks, who are 0-1, going up against the Stars, who got their heart broke in game 1, and they're 0-1 as we see McLeod going to work early in this game. In the last game, he had to bring his team back, but unfortunately, he fouled out and they lost. As DeAndre Shook with an and one opportunity, and he converts. So the Stars with a 3-point lead early, as Akeem Sacre dumps it to DeAndre Shook, and Shook scores again underneath the basket. Now we got Sacre out of the pick and roll. He dunks it down. 5-point lead for SoCal, and Wallace Gordon trying to stop the bleeding. He does. Hits a little mid-range turnaround shot. Akeem Sacre pulls up for 3 with an answer, puts his team up by 6 now. And now Sacre dunks, falls all over the place. Akeem Sacre going to work, nice spin, driving it, dunks again. Sacre is going crazy early, and we see Porter drill a 3, and SoCal is up big early. Now to the second quarter, SoCal just pouring it on. And we got DeAndre Shook driving again with another basket, 51-24. And I wish I could tell you Tampa fans that it got better, but unfortunately, it really did not. Later in the third, 73-48. We got Gary going underneath. He scores, cuts the lead to 23. Now to the fourth, Wallace Gordon trying to make something happen. He's able to score down low, but that's about it. Tampa gets completely bludgeoned, 102-75. As Stevie McLeod has 18 and 10, DeAndre Shook has 14, Javon Hodges had 12 and 20. Big game from him. Looking at the Sharks, their defense was just terrible. Lyle Shipp gave them 15 points with 1 assist. Earl Tompkins had 12 and 9 rebounds. Wallace Gordon had 12 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists, and 5 steals, but he shot terribly. 6 of 20 from the field, didn't hit any threes. Now we got the last game, and we see the Cyclone again going up against the Seattle Marauders. The Cyclone are the first team in the league that have played 3 games, as we see Jai Zhang get blocked on that play, and Mike Trapp scores the other way. And the Seattle Marauders are currently playing their second game right here, as Rashawn Matthews scores on that shot. Now we got Jacoby Hayes getting the screen from Mike Trapp. He lays it up and in, and the Cyclone call an early timeout, trying to redeem themselves coming off that loss from Kansas City earlier in the video, as we see Devontae Jones hit that layup. He's coming in strong in this game, driving to the basket again, and he's fouled by Mike Trapp on that play. Little guy, not afraid of the big man. He hit his first free throw, but he misses the second one. And we got Scotty Wagner with the rebound. Now we got Devontae Jones again, lobbing it up to Lucius Hughes on that play. Now to the second quarter, 2-point game. OKC is up by 4 now. It's Drew Snyder with a tough shot against the defense. Jacoby Hayes driving in, tough layup. He gets that to fall. Now we got a 1-point game. OKC is up, but Rashawn Matthews answers with a 3 and puts the Marauders up by 2. We got Drew Snyder passing it to Devontae Jones, who passed it over to Sam, but he's blocked by Trapp. No, they call it goaltending. They called that goaltending, so good hustle by Trapp, but he's not rewarding. Devontae Jones, little man with hops, dunking it down. Jacoby Hayes driving. He puts that in with the floater, tie game. 2 minutes left in the second quarter right here. Now into the third quarter, we got Caleb Pack driving in, slashing. He gets his shot swatted on that play. Pack again, this time against Jane. He's able to kiss that one in off of the glass. 3-point game for Seattle right here. Devontae Jones with the ball. Later in the game, we got Jones underneath, scores on Mike Trapp. Another foul he drew on Trapp, and he bumps into Trapp, walking up on him. I guess he did not like the fact that he fouled him, but he misses another free throw, hurting his team with the free throws right here. We got Vic Wallace driving in. He passes it out to Perry Jackson Jones, who hits a 3, but Seattle is up big later in the fourth. Seattle up by 12. Jacoby Hayes pulls back, hits a 3, pushes their lead to 15 points. Later in the fourth, 15-point lead. Mike Trapp spinning and winning. 17-point lead for his Marauders now. He has 13 so far in the game. Devontae Jones driving again. He's able to score. Little man has been able to score big down low in this game. And so we got Jones again slashing to the basket and scoring. And OKC trying to cut into this lead. 13-point game as we see Vic Wallace hit a 3. 10-point game with 3 minutes left, and the Cyclone are trying to claw their way back into this one. Scotty Wagner with the 3, and that might be just enough. And it is. Seattle wins 95-78. Jai Zhang showing love to his opponents as the Cyclone fall to 1-2, and the Marauders are now 1-1. Jacoby Hayes had 18, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. Mike Trapp monster game, 16 points, 14 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, and 3 blocks with only 1 turnover. And looking at the Cyclone, Jai Zhang had 17 points with 10 rebounds and 3 assists. Devontae Jones had 13, 5, and 7. Drew Snyder had 12, but overall they just could not get it done, and they fall to 1-2 on the season. If you made it this far in the video, let me know by leaving a like and a comment below. Continue to let me know who your favorite players, favorite teams are, things that you predict that will happen in the season. Any of the teams not shown today, including the Demons, the Emperors, and the Empire, will be in the next episode. I present you guys these highlights in the order that the games are played throughout the season, and I'll catch you guys in the next video with some more BLA hoops. Catch you guys in the next one.